A Marine Expeditionary Unit is a unique team of more than 2,000 Marines and sailors who deploy on naval ships across the globe. The mission of the MU is to provide a forward-deployed, flexible, sea-based Marine Air-Ground Task Force to support the theater requirements of geographic combatant commanders and capable of executing amphibious operations, crisis response, and limited contingency operations to include enabling the introduction of follow-on forces and designated special operations. From the world's oceans, a MU can launch operations and personnel to accomplish missions simultaneously from the sea, in the air, and on land. The MU is comprised of a command element, a ground combat element, an aviation combat element, and a logistics combat element. From the sea and over the horizon, a MU can execute amphibious raids and conduct or support amphibious assaults to the shore. The Maritime Raid Force is a special unit that executes maritime interdiction operations, which includes visit, board, search, and seizure operations, or VBSS. These missions specifically counter piracy and other threats against maritime trade. While their naval proficiency makes them a fierce protector of shipping lanes and maritime commerce, the MU's ability extends far beyond the shoreline. Civil unrest, natural disasters, and armed conflict can threaten peace and stability at any time, in any location around the world. The MU's ability to execute humanitarian assistance and disaster relief operations bring aid, medicine, and other essential needs to nations throughout the world. The MU is also postured to conduct non-combatant evacuation operations, bringing American and Allied non-combatants out of harm's way. Bridging the critical seam between operations at sea and on land, the MU is capable of conducting advanced force operations, seizing airfields and ports, and establishing landing points for follow-on assets. As necessary, the aviation combat element is prepared to execute aviation operations from expeditionary sites ashore. MU assets also remain prepared to conduct tactical recovery of aircraft and personnel. Launched from the sea or shore, Marines are prepared to rescue pilots and aircrew within hours of their distress calls. With the addition of the MV-22 Osprey to the MU's aviation element, Marines can respond with greater speed and over longer distances than ever before. These collective mission capabilities allow the nation's leaders to leverage the MU's proven responsiveness to address crises in every clime and place. The flexibility of the Marine Expeditionary Unit allows it to stand ready to respond as the nation's premier 911 force.
shock troops with mechanized equipment churn towards the shore and battle.
And the people who knock these buildings down will hear all of us soon.
The Marines are on their way to Benghazi.
U.S. Marine commandos reclaim control of a ship being held hostage by pirates off the Somali coast.
When I was down for 6 days behind enemy lines, it was the 24th Marine Expeditionary Unit from the USS Kearsarge that rescued me.
It's the MEU's ability to self-deploy and rely on no other assets to get to the affected area. It's the MEU's ability to support itself.
With the 15th Marine Expeditionary Unit have evacuated more than 3,000 flood victims from Pakistan and delivered more than 600,000 pounds of relief supplies.
We have had 2,200 Marines from the 15th MEU responding to the crisis. As of this morning, have evacuated 3,075 people and delivered more than 650,000 pounds of cargo.
Amphibious landing craft from the USS Nashville. The Marines have landed. Just 40 in all, few but proud.
The 31st Marine Expeditionary Unit, embarked aboard 3 ships with Amphibious Squadron 11, continues to head toward the coast of mainland Japan to take part in Operation Tomodachi.
As you can see, the title America's Expeditionary Force in Readiness entails Marines who are on a daily basis are forward deployed and forward engaged, working closely with our joint and allied partners. When crisis or contingency arise, these same Marines will respond locally, regionally, globally if necessary to accomplish whatever the nation asks.
We identify weaknesses in coastal defenses and we exploit them. The lethality of our weapon systems and their accuracy has improved exponentially since the days of World War II and Korea, where we did large amphibious assaults. So it's a question of how you synchronize the various craft like Amtraks that are slower and LCACs and LCUs, and our ability to penetrate deeply with our potentially para-operations with reconnaissance units to help shape the battlefield early, helo assaults out of our helicopters and MV-22s. You have a lot of technology, a lot of capability in how you apply that on the battlefield to achieve that result. That's the biggest difference. We were really limited in range and speed before. I don't think we have that same limitation now. The missiles are a threat. There are a lot of threats on the planet. But we're good at it. We'll figure out ways around it or ways to defeat them, and we'll conduct offensive amphibious operations as required. The question is, how do we defeat or mitigate that risk to our fleet so we can get in range? Things like the Osprey and the Joint Strike Fighter are designed just to do things like that, give us range and speed and lethality that'll take us further from the ships and allow the fleet more protection. At the same time, we can project power ashore. Fortifications can be overcome. And we can combine technologies. We're smart people. Our allies are smart. We can come up with technical solutions and physical solutions to get after any defense that's put up. You know, the moat around the castle seemed pretty impressive back in the day, and you can breach that. The question isn't, do we need amphibious forces? It's how much more do we need, not less. Afghanistan and Iraq have created a generation of warfighters. Granted, most of it's been at a regular warfare, but they're warfighters nonetheless. And we haven't been able to pay as much attention to the amphib fleet and our expeditionary forces. There has been a cost to that, but I don't think it's been catastrophic. And we've been out there on the beat. The focus has been in Afghanistan and Iraq. Not everybody's looking at what the MEUs are doing day to day, but they're out on the water doing their job.